I was never always that interested in religion, but my interest blossomed in 8th grade when I was told to write a speech on a hero for an oration contest. And personally myself, I couldn't think of a hero, so I asked my dad for inspiration. Out of the whole list he gave me, a person who stood out to me was Siddhartha Gautama, or who we know today as the Buddha. Desperate for a topic for the contest, I began to do research on him, and I was interested in his perspective in life, specifically the 4 sights. These 4 sights can inspire us and lead the way to common themes we know today. So I present to you the 4 sights and their meaning in life. First question you guys are probably asking is, who is Siddhartha Gautama? Gautama lived as a prince for 29 years, and his father actually wanted to protect him from the reality of suffering and kept him inside the palace. However, this led Gautama to believe that all humans lived a good life without stress. But this changed once he finally set off outside the palace and noticed the 4 sights. So I keep saying the words, the 4 sights, but what really are they? The first is an old man. This represents how people often rely on their youth and can do nothing to stop aging. The second is a sick man. This represents how people often rely on their health and that being sick is inevitable. The third is a dead man. This showed that in any scenario, humans will end up dying anyway. And the fourth is the holy man. This was the only man Gautama saw on his journey that was stress-free and free from suffering. And he concluded that there could be a way that people could deal with suffering. With all that information in mind, how can this relate to you? And how can this relate to the human race in general? This is a survey conducted by the American Psychological Association, and this shows that on a level from 0 to 10, men have an average stress level of 4.9, and women have a stress level of 5.1. But we really want to be here at 0. The 4 sights also showed that humans lived in a life cycle. First, humans are born and gradually age, then they get sick and eventually die. The processes to Siddhartha Gautama were unavoidable. This really made Gautama question how we should live our lives before we die in order to overcome this so-called suffering of aging, being sick, and dying. He came to the conclusion that with these unavoidable things in mind, people should change the way they live, in the aspect that people should be kind and care for one another before we die, and hope that we can overcome suffering by reducing the amount of stress we have and changing the way we interact with one another. Thank you.